Hello, everybody. Welcome to the American Magpie. We are live again here on this late, cold afternoon in the United States and pretty late night. I'm sure it's pretty cold over there in England, where Toon Tactics to be Philip is from. But Philip, welcome, man. Appreciate you coming on. We got to talk Newcastle,
Yes,
unfortunately,
sir.
about our ultimate demise in the Carabao Cup.
Yes, sir.
Uh,
Thank you for the invite and hello and welcome to the chat
no
and all
doubt,
the
no
folks that are
doubt.
watching.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Smash the like button. Of course, it helps us a lot. Number one, subscribe if you're new. And yeah, of course, interact with us. Let us know in the comment section what you think. And we'll definitely, show your comment or address it depending on how the conversation goes. But look, I'm going to let you go, man. You need to tell me. I need to know what your opinion is on this match that we played yesterday. I've been tweeting about it. I've been talking about it, and I kind of want to know your take on this, man. Let me know what your thoughts are.
Yeah, I think before I even get directly into the tactics of the game, I think the wider context of it is that, as we all know, that obviously Newcastle are on the road to becoming an elite club.
Mm,
We've gone from fighting, being relegated to fighting off relegation and like 14 years of absolute heartbreak to now become an elite club and on that journey as an elite club. In the space of a week, we crashed out of the Champions League and at the quarterfinals of the League Cup. This is this is this is what big clubs go through. This is
right.
not what mid-table or fighting relegation clubs go through. With all due respect, I'm talking as a Newcastle fan, and so we have to not necessarily get used to it, but accept. For myself, I speak for myself. I have to accept that these are the highs and lows of a Newcastle fan. I supported Newcastle before we during the just before uh, the Les Ferdinand and Alan Shearer days. So I had a taste of Champions League, but I had it as a youngster. And so I didn't fully understand it. And then after relegation and everything else, you understand that not all is granted in football. Champions League isn't granted in football. And
Right.
so look, going into this game, this is the heartache of it. We did we went winding up, as everybody knows. We went into defensive mode. I think a lot of it because as how grudgingly admitted, fine, that there was a bit of physical fatigue there. three games in a space of 7 days. And credit to Callum Wilson actually, because I didn't back him to play 3 games in 3 weeks, and he did, and in a week, and he did.
Yeah.
And everybody, and that's after obviously we beat Fulham 3-0, but we lost 2 players there as well, Jolinton and Fabian. No excuses, but it's just what happened. And otherwise, I don't think we would have went into defensive shape as quickly as we did after we went a goal up. And look, Kieran Trippier, Burn comes on. Kieran Trippier, one of the first player we got in after the takeover, has been a 9 out of 10 player in 99.9% of games. And even in the games where, for Everton, obviously against Everton and against Chelsea, where he made the errors, he still had a decent game. He made 3 errors now that we know that have led to goals. I think players make errors all the time that don't always lead to goals.
Yep.
And it's just happened to him. He tried to rectify it by taking the
Uh,
penalty, and I'll talk to you later about it in terms of maybe Eddie Howe, because I've got this internal story in my mind when I'm thinking of Eddie Howe as he watches Kieran Trippier pick up the ball and say I'm taking the penalty. If Howe's the only man right there in the Newcastle team who outranks Kieran Trippier and can stop him from taking that penalty. Is there a slither of doubt in his mind when as Trippier is about to take the ball and take the penalty that maybe I should stop him here?
mm,
Maybe I should get someone else to take it. I don't know, but he'll learn it again as he plays more and more big games. And so, look,
yep.
it was tragic the way we lost, but if we want to be a big club, an elite club, behave club, we have to dust ourselves off, and we have to go and beat Luton. So that's how I see it. That's how I see it.
Ah, man, it's been a tough. I woke up today sick, man. I just woke up
Yeah,
today at 5 in the morning, and I was like, the first thing that came to mind was the elimination, and I was like, come on, man, like this can't be real. Like I've been saying it, and I blame myself too because I've been saying it to myself the whole time. We were playing this tournament that this is our tournament. This is it. This is our chance to winning a title for it's been 67 years, I think.
Yes,
if I'm
sir.
not mistaken.
Yeah.
And maybe I put that expectation. But to be fair with you, we talked about it last stream. I don't know if we were live together last stream, but on this channel. But I think we were. We talked about. I think we did the Milan game. I think, and
Yes.
we said
Yes.
this loser mentality we need to get rid of.
Yeah.
Um, and to be fair with you, I think it's a balance of everything. It's not. It's
Yeah.
not. It's not about killing these players today because we didn't go through, and it's also not about coming with the same comments of, "But look at where we were 3 years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
Look at this guy, and
Yeah.
you should just be happy." And I don't that that infuriates me even more
Yeah.
when I hear that stuff. You can say that. Listen, it is what it is. It is a process. Uh, Trippier made big mistakes. He needs
Yes.
to own up to it, and he
Yeah.
needs to learn from it quickly, bigger more than anybody else, because he is supposed to be a leader of this team. And so you can have a balance, but man, it's been I don't know if you've been on Twitter much today and yesterday, but it's been a mix of night and day and nothing in the middle. And I think that we need the mid in the middle. And just because you have a counter uh explanation, or you think different than other people, doesn't mean that you are a Sunderland fan.
Yeah.
And
It's polarized. It's very polarized. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy, bro.
It is, and I think that's just not to go into, but I think that's things in general at the moment that we can't do that. And
Yeah,
like you said, yeah, I think that captures it really, and people need to realize that we're going on the journey. That yes, you can criticize players, but it doesn't mean that you're totally hammering them. At the same time, yes, we've come from relegation, but we're not. You know, I don't see too many millionaires and billionaires walking around and driving, still living in their old neighborhoods.
exactly.
And so, and even if they are, you get a few of them that say, "Oh, but I want to taste the Rolls Royce first before I give it up." And
Ex-
so, so,
that is
so
true.
look, it's been able to be in that journey. If it helps, talk to Man City fans. Talk to
Yeah,
Man City fans as they went through their journey and what they're experiencing now and how it is for them, and how they even respond to cup losses or cup wins, whatever cup, from League Cup to Champions League. And if you can accept those things now, it helps you to deal with the ups and downs. I'm not saying people create categories for everything. Toxic positivity, just because you're not upset or throwing your pampers out, or someone's ultra
right.
negative because they're not happy with something. You can be something and be measured, and you can say something without being categorized as something, just as one thing or else. This is the journey. This is the journey of an elite club. And you're gonna get highs and you're gonna get lows. And I'll finish it on this. There is a silver lining I was gonna talk to you about and say, look, we're 2 games away from the halfway stage, 19 games. We've got 29 points. I said to myself that in this next block of games, which is up to the Nottingham Forest game, if we had 32 points and we managed to stay in the cups, it's a good return. Now we haven't stayed in the cups, but we're already, for myself, ahead of, if Howe wins the next 2 games, where we've got 35 points out of 19 games. That's a fantastic return for a team that's played at least 5 games extra, that's never been there before, and has had the worst injury list out of all the Premier League teams, had the toughest start to the Premier League out of all in terms of teams played to the Premier League. That's good handling. And we've still got the FA Cup, and we've got Sunderland in the third round.
And let me tell you something.
Exactly.
Well, I'm gonna keep that until later on,
Yeah.
because that's gonna lead us into another debate here. But let's talk about the game in particular. Let's talk about
Yeah.
this game. Where did it go wrong for Newcastle? Obviously, listen, we can sit here and tell, yeah, Trippier made the mistake. That was
Mm.
it. But we gave them the ball too much. You know what I'm saying? Do you agree with that, or do you think that? Because I do agree to this, to the extent that we did game management okay. Like in the second half, we weren't attacking as much. I understand that that was a decision. It's good. We don't leave spaces open. So they because they got good players. They can equalize the game with just basically imagine a counter attack with a lot of space. They can equalize the game like that. You know what I mean? So we were kind of being defensive, and but I felt like towards the end it was just way too much. Like we weren't even doing when we had the ball. We weren't even being smart about it. Actually, the play right before the Trippier's mistake, there was a play by Almiron where he knew he wasn't going to score. He was way too far to the left, and instead of
Yeah, yeah,
going to
yeah.
the corner, going
To
to
the
the
corner line. Yeah,
just go to the
yeah.
corner, hold on to the ball, and whatever. You might get a corner kick. Who knows? He shoots it, and it goes to
To the keeper.
Petrovic,
Yeah.
and then the counterattack, which it wasn't really a counterattack, but you know they get that play instead of wasting more time. So where did it go wrong for Newcastle yesterday?
Yeah, I think you've outlined it really, really well. Exactly when Almiron did that, I said, "Oh, why didn't you just run to the corner?" I said, "Why didn't you just run to the corner flag? It wasn't worth it."
Yeah,
And you know what? Unfortunately, it's almost exactly the same thing that happened in the PSG game in terms of us defending and kicking the ball. We were defending for our lives. I know that we was very tired,
mm,
and obviously the injustice with the penalty,
yeah,
but we were giving the ball a little bit away there. It's hard for me to. There's two things in my mind that I have to kind of. That's the part of the game. Maybe I'll have to learn and grow in understanding. A part of me thinks they're mental for it's the mental fatigueness that's more than anything else. Just boot the ball away, just clear the ball away, and sometimes you need to do that, but you do give the incentive to the other team. But like you said, when you have a moment, it's how you manage those moments. Like with Almiron, you have a moment, you know you're not going to score, run to the corner flag.
yeah,
Run to the do that. Do you know how they do it in rugby or even football? They just run to the sidelines and let them take the throw in from there. Give that extra 5 seconds to your team rather than booing it. And it's been able to manage those moments that they have to learn from. Um, I don't blame them too much for the defensive part as well, because Chelsea really weren't doing much. And had it not been for the mistake by Kieran Trippier, we'll be sitting here saying, "Oh, I can't wait for the semi-final. Who are we going to play?" And so we are where we are, and we're going to grow as a team. This is why you need experienced players. I know that Almiron's experienced players, but he's not a big time player. He hasn't been in these situations as much. He has recently, but and other players as well. We have it's all it's not the best answer I can give for folks, but it's all part of the journey. It's all part of the growth.
yeah. It's tough. It is tough. I think that when you lose, there's always going to be these talks that you start trying to find what went wrong, and um, maybe nothing went wrong. It's just a simple mistake. To be fair though, we did also score on a mistake. So, both teams made a mistake. I think there was a more crucial mistake at the end, if you look at it from the Newcastle perspective. And then we got to talk about the penalties because
Yeah,
that was a different situation.
yeah.
And let me go with the comments real quick though, from Lewis, and then we can resume. Lewis says, "You never know. We could have got Middlesbrough if we
That would
got
have been
through.
lovely. That
That
would have
would have
been
that
lovely.
would have been nice." Question for you both: do you think Chelsea should be down
Do you think they should have gone
down
down?
9 or 8 men? 8
I
men,
think
damn.
they should have gone down to 10. I think Casado should have been sent off.
You think
If
so?
they if there was VAR, there was people keep on saying clumsy this and accident that. He knows what he's doing.
Mm,
The player, he's behind the player. There's no way he's getting the ball. I don't care what people say. And so he just scrapes all along Anthony Gordon's calf. And so I
yeah.
don't know about who else could have. He may be referring to Conor Gallagher, because Conor Gallagher dived. Literally in 5 minutes, he dived in the box where he tried to get a penalty. He should have got booked for that. And literally 5 minutes later, he tackled not Bruno, Sean Longstaff, I think it was, and
Okay.
he got booked for that. So yes, there's a case for that. There's a
But
case
what
for that.
about what about Bruno Guimaraes on that play with at the end?
Bruno's crazy, but he wouldn't have got. I don't think it's a red
Yeah,
card.
I don't think
It's.
so either.
I think it's similar. It's almost similar to the Havertz challenge at St James's Park, where it's reckless and it's stupid, but although I think Havertz's one was red card, I think he's it's almost like in that theme of it's reckless, it's stupid, it's clumsy, and there's Bruno's
Yeah.
crazy, and he's avoided that. The one thing that Bruno should have got sent off was actually in that game was for
An elbow.
helping Jorginho.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
it
Yeah,
was,
that's against Arsenal. Yeah.
but Bruno had a fantastic game in terms of at
Yes.
least the effort that he played his absolute heart out.
Yeah.
Credit to him.
Trippier need to go on a vacation holiday to give his mind a rest. I don't know about that. I mean, he listen, and I don't even know anymore what the answer is. With Trippier. Um,
Did you see the
I,
tweet where I forgot about this? You know that he left the England squad early. I forgot
yeah,
about that because of a personal issue, and
yeah. But
things
I mean,
haven't.
if we don't know the personal issues, we don't have any context, and
Yeah,
you know what I mean. We just don't know what was happening. You know what I mean. We don't know
yeah,
exactly what's going on now. Hey, it could be something bad that he's dealing with. I feel like if it was really related to I don't know. I'm just speculating, but if it was related to like a family death, we would have known about it already. Um, it must be more personal than that. And to be honest with you, we get into this guessing games. I mean, we just don't know.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
at the end of the day, he is a professional, and he must take accountability for what's happened. Um, that's 100%. Listen, I'm not gonna sit here and act, like I didn't curse him out on TV. Uh, I get upset like everybody else, but now that we've had 24 hours, we can actually think about it and listen. He made mistakes. He's been terrific for us since he got here.
Yes,
I will clarify one thing though. People say that he left Madrid and Atletico Madrid to come to Newcastle. Listen, he left because he didn't adjust to Spain like any other Englishman like many Englishmen in football. So let's not make everything about Newcastle and how when he was little he wanted to be a Newcastle player. You know what I mean? We got to let things be in their own place. He came here because he knew it was a great opportunity, ownership, and all that stuff. And he's been great for us. He's been great, really. Um, but again, there has to be a balance to me. You know what I mean? If you screw up, it is what it is. You got to take
so
ownership.
so
Yeah.
question for you: what would you do if you're Howe? You're going into Luton. Livermento's playing well at right back. You can still play Burn at left back, or Kraft if you want, and keep Lascelles and Botman if he's fit. If he's fit, do you keep Trippier on the bench?
Well, let's say just yesterday Kraft played well, so I don't know
He
why.
did.
I don't know why he had to come off, but so that's one thing. And listen, it's a really tough situation, Philip, because if you take him off, you are really, uh, you know,
You're senders. You're saying something.
well, everybody knows he made a mistake, and that's a sackable mistake if it's anybody else. Let's be honest. If it's any other player, it's a sackable mistake. Not saying he needs to get off the team, but I'm saying like you need to get some rest. It is Trippier, so it's tough, man. Because if you bench him, then you are letting everybody know that yes, you're right. I screwed up for putting him on the pitch. Number one, and he's not great right now.
How do you look at, because there's mistakes and there's performance. So I think because there's a fine
He's
line that Howe has to tread. Because if he
That's the
says to
thing.
his,
That's
yeah,
the that's the thing because he played great.
right, yeah,
Listen to me. I was saying it the whole time I was doing the watch along. I was telling everybody like he's a no nonsense type of player right now. Not like before
yes,
where he used to, try to nutmeg somebody, was successful, and a lot of times he would run past somebody, dribble past somebody. Every single play he was doing because of the mistakes that were previous to that,
yeah,
he was just sending it right to the stands. He wasn't messing around with anything. You know
yes,
what I mean? And I
yes,
was like, yes, because he has the right mindset right now that I'm just going to do my job. I don't care what happens around me, and the only person I'm worried about is the dude that's in front of me. That's all.
yeah,
That he was concentrated on Sterling at some part in the match, not getting through him, and he was doing great. He was doing great. And so that mistake, I will agree with you 100%. Like that was a mistake from another match. I don't know. Um, and to be fair, if you actually watch the play, you can see that.
he could have ducked the ball even, and he would have.
Yeah, he
It would
could.
he could have
It
done
would.
anything.
The bounce. It bounced too high he wasn't expected it to bounce too high, and he got caught in between giving it to the goalkeeper and not doing anything, and so it just went right to Mudryk. But if he would have, if it was too high because he is short, if he would have just went back and headbutted it
Just
backwards, nothing would have happened. But then because then we're just kind of thinking shoulda, could have, would have type stuff, and people will say, well, you're not a footballer. How would you know what you do? I don't know, but I,
my,
definitely don't do that.
I think the one where I am a little bit more critical of him is when he took the penalty. Because
Oh,
again, I'm not God, I can't read minds, but I'm thinking you're taking this penalty because you want to redeem yourself, and you have to score. There's
yeah.
no choice about this now. You have to score, and so other because you've made it about you now.
You think so though? Ultimately, is Eddie Howe's decision.
No,
You know,
they will
it,
decide.
it
Yeah.
it depends. It depends on the manager, right? Some managers say these are the guys. Some others say, hey, who's ready? Who wants to shoot?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
You know
Sure.
what I mean?
Sure. Sure.
Who's feeling comfortable
Sure.
to do it? Because that could be, with young players, you have that
And
situation.
if he backs out, if he doesn't put his name on,
That's it.
everyone's watching like, oh,
That's it.
okay,
If
okay,
if Trippier,
okay.
that's what I'm saying. Like if Trippier doesn't go shoot the penalty, fans are gonna be like, this dude is supposed to be our leader.
And the
He's a
players.
chicken. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He's chickening out. And on the other part, when I'll be honest with you, when I saw him go to
I
shoot,
wasn't confident. I
I,
wasn't
I
confident.
was I was in the middle, but listening to the commentator, he was like, "Well, if there's one guy to overcome this, it's gonna be Trippier, right?" And actually, we had live commentators on the show, and they were saying, "Look, he's gonna redeem himself with the penalty, hitting the fifth penalty." I don't understand why you know what I mean, like he went so soon. I don't
Yeah.
even know. Like
Yeah.
we're nitpicking here, and ultimately we'll never know what would happen. But regardless, man, you didn't feel like he was gonna. You thought he was gonna shoot it out of the like what happened? He was gonna miss.
I was watching. We all fancy ourselves to be body language experts and stuff like that. When I watch penalty takers in particular, I watch if they're doing this a lot, if they're breathing a lot, because that signifies to me the stress. And I was watching him, and I'm like, "You're stressed. You're stressed." And I give it to the Chelsea players. They were. It was like another kickabout. Just taking penalties. They were very Mudryk.
Yeah,
All the criticism he gets, all the stuff like they took a hell of a penalties. Even if the goalkeeper went the right way, he wouldn't have got them. You
yeah.
know. So I was watching him. I'm like, you're stressed, man. It's not a
Yeah,
good
looking at
place
his
to be.
face, I will agree that it wasn't the greatest feeling. But let's keep going with the comments. There was a nasty challenge in that game, especially by Chelsea. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
they were. We talked about that. That player was lucky to stay on after Garen Bruno's neck. Yeah, I mean that could be.
Mudryk, yeah.
I kind of like it though. If it's gonna because Bruno didn't back down. He got the wrong one. He got the wrong one. Bruno didn't back down. You know what I mean? Any other player would have just been like,
You're lucky Joe Linton wasn't there.
oh,
Goodness
oh no, Joe, you don't want to
gracious.
mess with Joe Linton. If Joe Linton would have made that foul, no way Mudryk would have grabbed his neck like that.
Those two are like
Yeah,
bullies, but they're like I can't.
yeah,
I liken them to like if I ever went to a high school like in America, they're like those football players. That
yeah.
you love them,
Amer-
but you know that you can't really mess them.
yeah, no, no, no. You don't want to see
You
Joe
don't want
Linton.
down the hole.
Joe Linton, you gotta walk the other way, man. You see Joe Linton, Joe Linton, you gotta walk the other way, dog. You can't. No, you don't want that problem. You know what I mean? He says I'll bring in Tino. I guess when we're talking about Trippier out or in,
Another great game.
another great
Another
game.
great game.
But listen, I mean, if
Fantastic.
that's the thing. We guess we can talk about it. If Trippier should stay or not later on. Enter your mind's name. Lewis says communication is in the box for him could have helped. His back was to Mudryk, and he may have thought that he needed to get something on it. Yeah, I mean that is true. Also, there should be communication, but I mean, I don't know, man. I just felt like if the ball would have bounced a little bit lower, there would have been no problems as well.
Yeah.
But then again,
Yeah.
he messed up. So I mean, I can't. I'm trying to excuse it, but yeah, it was a tough play, man. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's try. Whatever football games you guys watched this week or whatnot, you're going to see players make terrible mistakes and they lead to nothing.
Yeah, no, that
It's
is true.
just that for Trippier, the
No, right
last
now,
three
yeah,
mistakes, they're all going in.
yeah.
They're all going in at the moment.
Lewis says that's what's good about Pope. He does shout and command in
You
his
know
box
what?
verbally.
Dubravka could have shouted. We don't know. I mean, up to that point, we defended really. I was watching Lascelles and Botman. Fantastic. Livramento, brilliant. And Kraft, obviously, before Trippier came on, excellent. The defense played really, really well. It's just this, it was like a circuit break. Literally, at that moment, there was just a circuit break for Trippier. And I think he was initially thinking of doing what a top class defender does do. And I thought, I can handle this ball. Let me just head right back to Dubravka. And like you said, it came quicker than he thought. It went higher than he would thought. And he thought, okay, maybe I need to clear it. But he was thinking that the ball came a lot quicker and he didn't get enough power on it. And Mudryk, credit to him, he was alive to it. He was very, very alive to
Yeah,
it.
and he's been criticized a lot
If
as
that
well.
was
So,
Nicholas Jackson,
that would have
he's
been.
already walking away before
Yeah.
before anything's happening.
Yeah,
It just happened
Mudryk.
to be Mudryk.
Yeah, he hit it. He hit it just right, man.
Yeah.
And so, okay, we talked about the game. I mean, I guess we can conclude that it wasn't necessarily something that we should have done differently as far as the football, the tactics perspective.
The only thing I want to ask you is, and
Yeah.
I was obviously we talked about the man who came on in Kieran Trippier. What about the man that didn't come on? Lewis Hall. Richie
Mm,
came on. When Richie came on, I said, because up to this point, with all the conversations around Lewis Hall, the obligations, the conditions, or maybe they're going to send him back. I thought, it's rubbish because Howe always does this. If people forget, it took about 10 games before Bruno became a first teamer. The only reason that Botman came in after 5 or 6 games is because somebody was injured. I know, otherwise, Anthony Gordon had to wait a whole half a year. It takes time. So I thought the same for Lewis Hall. But when I saw Richie come on at left forward and not Hall, that's when I started saying, there's a problem here.
I think there is a
For
problem.
me.
I think that Eddie Howe doesn't rate him. Unfortunately,
You think so?
that's got to be the answer because or there's some misconduct in the team. I mean, that's the only thing. There is no way in hell that you can not put this guy on after having injuries and people tired. And he is one of your few options that you can put on. And he performed well against Manchester United in
He
the
did.
Carabao Cup.
He did.
He
He did.
scored.
He did.
I'm not gonna judge a left back for scoring, but regardless, he did contribute to the win, and so he played well, and then he played a few minutes afterwards, and then he never played again, and then he played 5-6 minutes against Fulham, and you know what I mean. There's really not a reason as to why you gave him time, he played well, and then you don't give him any more time at all. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't make sense. And I've been saying about certain moves for Eddie Howe that he's just not making sense on what he's doing. And I say it with the most respect that I can say it. But I'm not just going to come here and talk. Just butterflies and roses. I need to criticize if I think he's done something wrong. You know what I mean? And I think that not putting Lewis Hall, I don't understand why. I mean, I don't get the reasoning. What do you think?
Well,
You don't think there's a problem there?
Arkham's razor is the simple explanation of the easy one. He did go on the bench, so Eddie Howe was ready to use him. We know that he was eligible to play.
Man,
You
man.
don't drag a player all the way to the game and not use him. That would be, it's detrimental to the player. It's detrimental to you unless you've got an understanding with that player. There's only two reasons. A, like you said, he's not been good enough. But was he not good enough to the level where you put it? I love Richie, but was he that bad that where Richie is coming on instead of him? B is the
Yeah.
other thing is that maybe there is a situation with the contract, with not with the contract, with the deal that Newcastle are doing with Chelsea, where they're saying
No, that he's clear to play. He's clear to play.
no,
Chelsea
no. I
let
mean,
him
in
play.
terms of if because right now he's on the loan. Is the chat can correct me? Is I think it's on the loan with an obligation to buy it, as far as I understand.
Yes.
But are there conditions to this obligation, i.e., Lewis Hall plays a certain amount of games? Are Newcastle rethinking this because of the injuries that they've got? They might have to loan out more players. Are they renegotiating the price of Chelsea that they're not getting a foothold on?
Mm.
Is a bit of bricksmanship. If it is, it's very risky.
Yeah,
There's
I
an
mean, I
argument
think
that it cost them the game.
yeah, we don't know those details, I guess, in the contract if that's the case. But regardless, since we don't know, I mean, because to be honest with you, I don't even know why Isak didn't play.
He's
So,
not fit. He's not
but
fit.
what does that mean? Is he hurt? Is he
His
what's
groin. His groin. The thing about his
again?
groin.
Again,
Yeah.
they're going to see, but it's not. How do you find out about that?
A press conference. So they're saying it's not like he was saying it's not too bad, but we just want to rest him. And he
Uh,
hasn't been playing the same.
yeah, I don't know. I feel like yeah, we just don't know if there's something in the contract where Lewis Hall can't play many games, or else you're obligated to buy him. As far as we know, is whether that Newcastle has to buy him at the end of the season. Um, as far as I'm concerned, maybe that has those stipulations in the contract that we're not sure, but I don't know because he puts him in for 6 minutes against Fulham. What is he supposed to do in 6 minutes? You know what I mean? If you're winning 3-0, I don't know when we scored. I forgot when we scored the last goal there, but uh, but regardless, I mean, if you want to see what a player can do, 6 minutes is not going to be enough. You know what I mean? If you really want to try him out and see what he can do, if your players are so hurt, screw the damn contract. I'm going to play whoever I can play. That way, I can win matches that I have to win. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's the way I look at it. But yeah, then again, I don't think that I think that the manager doesn't rate him. To be
I'm
fair with you,
surprised. I'd be surprised at why the journalists aren't really pressing him on that.
they've been talking about it, a few articles here and there, but not really asking him. So Lewis says, "Yeah, Hall's gone. We don't want the obligation to buy." Um,
Oh,
I think he's a decent player. So I don't. But to be fair with you, when he's
I haven't
played,
seen enough.
well, I mean,
When he played against Man United, fantastic. This
yeah,
is why we
but
want to buy you.
how are you going to see enough when the manager doesn't put him on the pitch?
Do you know what it is? I Lewis Hall's not a left back, so he's played all his youth, all his time at Chelsea as either a DM, a left-sided midfielder, or a left winger. He
Even
happened to,
worse,
yeah.
even worse. We had so many injuries in the midfield. You're not even going to give him a shot. We're missing. We're hoping Tonali to be
We're
back.
yeah,
You
yeah, we're
know,
injured, but I think the way the owners are thinking, they think 2-3 transfer windows ahead. Because once Willett comes back, we've already got Joe Linton there, Elliot Anderson. That is the one side of the pitch that we're pretty good, pretty stocked. Yes, there's injuries, but when those players come back, and we've got Harvey Barnes. If he comes back this year, we don't know. But I think his best. He's not a left back.
yeah.
I think they're like, oh no, he's not a left back. I think they realize he's really not a left back. We can get a better
No.
one, I think. So
Big up, Lewis, man. Good night to you, brother. Thanks for being on. The other Lewis says there's no other reason why we aren't using him. Um, Now we're out of Europe. We probably want to spend the budget elsewhere on the pitch with the
probably.
FFP in mind. Um, I'm not 100%. I don't know how that's working. I mean, I know that we're not in the advantage that Manchester City had when they got a change of ownerships. Um, and so that's kind of tough. But all I can say is we need a longer squad, a longer, decent squad. I'm not even gonna say decent. We need a quality, longer squad. Can you get all stars? No, you can't do that. But regardless, we need to get players that that can come on and play. We have some already, but regardless, if one gets hurt, you know what I mean, it throws everything off. And I mean, as far as left back, Livermento is there. He's not really an original left back, to be fair with you, but he's doing the job. He's getting the job done. But if he gets hurt,
Target's going to be sold. I think Target's going to be sold at some point.
yeah, yeah. But if Livermento gets hurt, then what's going to happen? Then we got to put. We don't want to play Hall. Then who else is going to be there?
Burn. Burn and yeah, but I know what you mean. Yeah,
Yeah, but Burn. I don't know. I don't. I get it, but I don't get it anymore. Like Burn is really not doing. He's not killing it in the left back position. I get that if we're attacking constantly, then he stays back to form a line of three, and with Shar and Lascelles and that and during that time, and I get that, but I mean, it just doesn't convince me. With all due respect to the great Dan Burn, nice dancing
attacking
moves.
wise, yeah, but defensively and his leadership is better.
Yeah,
But attacking wise, yeah, we saw the
and he
difference when Livermento played on the left back, especially against PSG. It led to a goal, and you
right,
probably want more and more of those things. But
yeah.
I think Hal's thinking of what's the trade off. There's something up with Hall. I think maybe the fact that obviously Pope's injured, Tonali suspended. I think they had a plan for this winter. For this winter, the maximum they were ever going to get was two players before all these injuries and stuff. And one was probably going to be a loan, and there was one they were going to buy. Now with Pope probably out for the year, they have to look at a goalkeeper.
You think
They're
so?
gonna. Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
Dubravka's is enough. I don't think
But I
Dubravka
mean,
is enough.
what actually, to be fair with you, I don't even think that the Brock has been decent.
He
I mean,
has.
and Pope is going to come back at some point. So who are you going to get? I say this: look, get the
Well,
hair
yeah, that's
back.
what I was saying. So they probably get De Gea. I think, look, people, I can't make up my mind on this Calvin Phillips thing. Either he is coming or he isn't coming. But some people are making it sound like it's inevitable.
Well, I made this video with some information that he might be wanting to choose Juventus over Newcastle. He feels like that would be a greater opportunity for him to go back to the national team, go to the Euros. I'm not 100% on that. I think he's wrong. I think if he performs in Newcastle well, he might get there. Um, but ultimately, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not going to beg him to come. He's not a world class player for me to start begging him. I mean, I like the fact that he was going to come. I think he would have been a utilized player in the team. But if he wants to, if he's not sure, then that's okay. I mean, he can go to Juventus and see what happens. But we need to figure out, who else can be on. What about Neves? Is Neves ever going to be? Was Neves ever going to? I think
I
we
don't think
got
that
to
was
prove.
real. I think that was just down Ashworth um, playing silly buggers with the journalists and getting them to do
Yeah,
the vote thing. Because obviously after that we had this whole vote about on multi-club ownership and stuff like that. I think all of that. I think that was a bit of what's the word? Do you remember that program Suits? I think it was a bit of that kind of like
yeah,
in the corporate warfare going on in my view. I did hear that Calvin Phillips. Everybody hears different things. I heard that Calvin Phillips is interested. The difference is that Newcastle want to pay 65% of his wages, whereas Juventus are willing to pay all of his wages. I think I think also obviously Newcastle's not too far from his city, which is Yorkshire,
mm,
where his family are. I think most English players would want to play for Eddie Howe. So there's that for him. I can see the attraction for him to play under Eddie Howe. He would have seen the
yeah,
multiple players that improve under Eddie Howe.
yeah,
I think he'll be good for us in terms of he's the only one that's as close to Bruno we can get in terms of his ability to play back to goal, and obviously be able to take the ball on. I'm not saying he's as good as Bruno and stuff like that, but he's the only one that can do it to to at least to that particular level. Without Bruno, we look a bit more clunky doing it. So I would want him for that level for that reason, and hopefully he's got, like he said, he's playing to get into the England squad as well. So there's a lot of
yeah.
motivation there.
No,
So I
that's
would want him.
I think he would be good at Newcastle, if he puts his mind on it. I mean, and also a lot of players are going to want to come to Newcastle. Man, it's not a. I don't think it's up for debate. I mean, it's one of the
Yeah,
clubs that you can see the progress and you can see that it could be that there's a bright future. Um, right now we got eliminated from everything, so we're just upset. But
still got the FA Cup. Still got the FA Cup.
yeah, we got the FA Cup. We're going hopefully listen, hopefully we get it. I mean, to be fair with you, if you make me choose, I'd rather win the FA Cup than the Carabao Cup. The FA
Yeah,
Cup
of
is
course, of course.
10,000 years old. And I
Yeah,
love heritage. So I love that. It's more I just love it. But then again, I think we need to make I think we need to try to make some moves in January, man. You got to make some moves. Not big moves, but we need to get some players because you you're battling all this right now with tiredness, people hurt, all this. What do you think is going to be later in the season when people are actually fatigued?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm
So
only keeping my expectations for me personally tempered because I learned so we've had two um winter transfers with the owners so far. The first one is when they had their first takeover when they were trying to save us from relegation. Hence they spent 100 million plus. But that was like they had to do it, otherwise we're going down.
right.
The um the second was obviously last year. And you remember we were already short on midfielders. Not only did they sell Anthony, they sold Shelby, already shorter than it, but they bought Anthony Gordon instead, who's an
Yeah.
attacking forward. So
Yeah.
that let me know straight away. These guys have a plan. They are going to stick to no matter what. They have a budget, they have a plan, and they have a particular player they want. I
I
would not be surprised, no matter what's happening on the field, to a real hardcore extent almost, they would stick to that plan and
I
they'll
I,
go for the players that they want.
I get that. I get it. I understand it. But these are probably the people that are making the decisions, right?
Yeah,
In the football side of things.
yeah,
But don't forget who the owners are. The owners don't want to take second place to nobody. They don't want to lose to nobody.
yeah,
The owners that we have, they go to the bathroom in golden toilets. You know what I mean? They don't give a damn about no damn second place or third place or quarterfinals. They want to get the gold.
yeah.
And
True.
I saw it on some websites earlier this morning that the PIF is not they're not too happy of the way we got eliminated from the Champions League. I don't know where that comes from. Regardless, I'm just putting it out there because regardless, you can actually I mean we we've known these Saudi Arabia owners and it's, nobody wants to lose, to be honest with you. But regardless, we know like they don't want to take second place to nobody. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that they're going to get involved and say, listen, we should do this because they're not football people. But regardless, the people, the directives that are in charge of Newcastle football wise, you know, they must know that who the owners are, who they're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? So they need to try to make the right decisions. And so actually it leads me to my next point, my topic. If we can talk about it, it is that we're going to play in the FA Cup with Sunderland. If we lose against Sunderland, bro, if we lose against Sunderland, I don't know, man. I don't know about all this patience. I don't know about all this nonsense. I mean, I get it. I don't know. I don't get it. I mean, I don't think it depends on how the game goes, but we should be able to beat Sunderland, to be fair. I think they're mid-table in the championship, which is nuts. We're not going to see them anytime soon after this one. But I don't know, man. I know I'm being really. I'm doing. Maybe I'm thinking about it too much, but after all these results, I've talked with some people. I was on the football terrace yesterday, and some fans were like, "Man, if we lose against Luton," they said Eddie Howe had got to go. I don't know about that.
No.
But if we get eliminated by Sunderland, I don't know, bro. What are your thoughts? Because you're not falling into my bait. You're not taking the bait, man.
I have, for my own anxiety, I always have my own personal expectations for Eddie Howe and for just management and for the team in general. And I try to my best to integrate that with what I think the owners would expect as well. So from the beginning of the season, I said to myself, I don't look at it in place, I look at it in points. Minimum points 65 to 80, a maximum to 81 points in the Premier League, with to go deep in all cup competitions, domestic ones. So deep meaning semi-finals and finals. Obviously, we haven't achieved that with the League Cup, and I was hoping to at least get through to the group stage of the Champions League. That didn't happen either. He's still on track. Is very, very much on track in terms of where he's at on points with the Premier League. And overall, that's at this stage, that's probably the most important thing, regardless. Even if we qualify to the knockout stage of the Champions League, if we're mid-table in the Premier League, that's when, as an owner, you're very anxious and you're worried, and there's a problem. If you're where Chelsea are, for instance, 9, 10 points behind, but even if you got through to the Champions League, you're worried. But we're not there, and we're very much in touch in this distance of fourth. I also think that, like I said, we've got the FA Cup, and I've got no reason to believe that we'd lose to Sunderland. Not because it's anything to do with Sunderland, but because of for the majority of the season, apart from Bournemouth maybe and Everton, people will say, we've won every game that I thought we'd win. And the only reason we really lost those games, Bournemouth, is fatigue. It's because we had no rotation. We're playing the same players all the time. And if people are willing to let go of Howe at a drop of a hat like that, they're risking Newcastle's future, or at least they're risking Newcastle's season this year. Because in order to sack a coach, to sack a manager, I need to see a little bit more in terms of level of the team's performance to drop to a certain level where I'm like, okay, he's got to go, or he's lost a dressing room. And that's nowhere near in sight for Howe. And so, and I also don't like the mentality of, oh yeah, if we lose to Luton, he's got to go. We're not Chelsea. We're not Man United. We haven't won a cup in 67 years. This might be the losers mentality, people might say. We haven't won a cup in 67 years. What I'm saying is that we have no heritage at this stage to say this person isn't gonna. We could just sack 2-3 managers because we know that if we get this manager, we're gonna win a cup. We don't know. The owners don't know, and so they have to show a level of patience. They have to ride it out. A lot of teams are doing that nowadays, if people don't know. Even Pochettino, he's in left. His team is 10th. They have to ride it out. Ten Hag, Man United have to ride it out. Because people are beginning to realize sacking managers in the middle of seasons doesn't guarantee you the results that you want. And people have also got to acknowledge that the Premier League in itself is even more fiercer in its competition. There's 8, 9 teams that could finish in the top 6, top 4. So, and Eddie Howe has put us on the top of the pile, just below the top 4 or 5 teams. So when they're saying letting go of Howe, they're letting go of a style of football which is modern. They're letting go of leadership. They're letting go of all the growth that we've seen so far. And then my next question is, if sacking Howe is the answer, the question has to be, can we get a coach? Can we get a manager that's better right now? And if we can, let me know who it is.
I don't think. I think you made some fair points, and yeah, I will agree. I don't think that sacking him is a good thing, even if we get eliminated. I was asking the question provocative because, or in a provocative way, because it does make for small talk. I mean, people will talk
I've
about
seen it
that.
on Twitter. Yeah.
And I don't think it's the answer, but I believe that there has to be progression every season. And already we're out of the Carabao Cup. No progression from last season. And I'm not saying you have to make it to the finals even, but I think that you need to make your objectives clear. We'll see what happens at the end of the season and where we finish. But I think that you need to see some improvement, some consistency, to say the least. Maybe making it to European football is part of the consistency that we need. And not every team makes it. Either Aston Villa or us or Tottenham or Manchester United even will be out. Will be without European football. So it's process, but at the end of the day, you still need to see. At this point in time, though, I do see inconsistencies in our performances. We have to admit. You have to admit it.
Well,
I mean,
why I'm a bit more hopeful is because I look at some of the underlying metrics. We're one of the top scoring teams in the Premier League, and we've got one of the best defenses in the league. We concede one of the least fewer goals in the league as well. Where we are right now, we always float between a good to a very good team, and we've been doing that very, very, very well. And so where we are in the league is consistent with that. And so I'm a lot, and that's even before we lost the 3 games in a row. Everton, I forgot the other teams. We were the top performing team at that time. And that's when people said Newcastle can't handle Champions League at the same time. They can't handle all these FA Cups, and we did. And not only that, we had the highest injury list. We had all those things going against us, and we were still crushing Chelsea 4-1. We were still beating Arsenal 1-0. We were still beating Man United. And we're playing the same team. Sometimes not even making any substitutions. I know that because I go to those fan sites and they're cussing their own team, saying, "How can Newcastle be playing with the same team, not make one substitution, and still be crushing us?" So I guess that's why I'm a lot more. I feel like I've got there's enough evidence to be hopeful, especially if we finish well for these next 2 games. Whether it's hopefully it's 2 wins, but if it's a win and a draw, for instance, it puts us in good stead to attack the second half of the season, go into the transfers, and also attack the FA Cup. I think we will, but we will beat Sunderland. It's going to be a real occasion, so it'll be all good.
Lewis says, to be honest, who knows who will
Inter,
sign? Yeah, his name is Lewis.
Is it? Oh, right.
Yeah. I asked. He said, I asked him why his nickname is like that, and he said, yeah, because it was a joke. It's Jordy. He said, it's into your mom, and he just put into. So he just wrote it like that. Because I asked him, I thought he was Arabic or something, and yeah. He says, I didn't see Isak coming, didn't see Tino, Bruno. So at the time, I was calling for other players, but the signings turned out class. So I have full faith in the board.
Yeah.
If we lose to them, cheesy chip eating nonsense. Why do they say that? Cheesy chip, like what?
He'll have to tell you that one.
Okay. No horse is safe in a 10-mile radius. Yeah. He says that I'd at least give him another season. His initially season he deserved.
That's where I stop. So that's where I stop. That's where my sympathy stops. So I wouldn't, for instance, if we, for instance, finish mid-table below what I feel like 65 points is the minimum. If you finish below that and we're out of all the couple competitions, I wouldn't say because we've done so well in the previous 2 years, we should give him another year. I don't think we can afford to do that. If the fall off is that dramatic, you have to say to yourself, that's very, very serious. And can we risk it again? You can't just look at Aston Villa, look at Brighton. God knows who else is going to come up next season.
Yeah,
you have to that's where you have to be proactive. And this is coming from a person who I believe Howe could be our Ferguson. So that's my hot take. That Howe could be our Ferguson. But even I have to say, no, it's not that Howe deserves another season. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. You have to show that so far for me, he deserves beyond Luton, beyond Sunderland and stuff like that. I give him the benefit of the doubt. But if we don't finish, like I said, at minimum 65 points, and that could even, with the competition nowadays, that could even take us out of Europe, and we get knocked out of another cup early, it's not good. It's not good readings. So that's where my my support in that and how would stop, I think.
Terry Crook, big up Terry. He says the Sunderland game is a must win if we want any chance of silverware this season. Yeah, 100%. And so I agree with that. And yeah, it will be my first ever full-time Newcastle fan derby. Like it will be my first time to actually. I mean, I don't think we haven't played them in years, I would say, right?
Yeah,
a long time. So there's been inconsistency in both clubs, more for them actually, but yeah, we've been down as well. But yeah, Yamada says Prem still on Terry. I didn't get that.
If we can win the chat, we can still win the Premier League. He's joking, but yeah. You never know.
Hey, you never know, bro. Can you imagine? I mean, that's insane, man. I think the Prem is going to be a long shot for us this season, but
I love
still
this faith. That
think
is,
a
I
top
love
five
that
finish is
first
fun.
sentence.
No doubt.
He's-
Hey, but it is.
I love that. I
Hey,
love that.
now if I said this on a neutral channel, they would annihilate me.
They're like, look at yo. What? Do you
But
know what? I might just try that. And keep a straight face. Yeah, I think we might not win the Prem this season. We might not win. I just want to see what people would say.
yeah. I mean, but listen, when and let me ask you this though. I think Specs is going to come on for 15 minutes. We're about to close anyways
Fantastic.
in the next 15, 10 minutes. But what are your when do you see if things continue this way? When I talk about the not like losing against Chelsea and stuff, but I mean like in the long term, when do you see us winning the Champions League? Damn it,
The Premier League.
the Premier League.
I'll try to look at it through the owner's eyes, and I think when do I see us really mounting a challenge? So this year, for instance, I said to myself and I compared us to the Man City squad because I think if you're gonna be the best, you have to look at the best. You have to look at what they're doing. Man City have a maximum of 18 players. It's not 20. People say it's 25. It's not. It's maximum of 18 players that are actual starters, and the rest are youth or whatnot. But they're 18 fantastic players. I have to look at my notes. I made notes for it, but we're about 3 or 4 players short of that. And obviously, since the transfer window, I still felt that we're 2 or 3 players short of being a really competitive squad. So I wanted another forward to be able to right, especially who can play on the right wing to be play across, and another really good centre back to be able to really say, okay, now we're putting ourselves in contention of that.
What's it?
So
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah.
Finish.
So I went on long, but I feel like the next 2 transfer windows, this winter one coming and the summer one coming, for me will be very interesting. I wouldn't be surprised that this is obviously big if we spend well and we get another 2 or 3 first teamers essentially and keep the squad that we've got now. I do think we're going to sell Bruno though in the summer, so that might set us back. I think we're at 2, maximum 3 transfer windows away from creating a squad that's ready to compete for the Premier League.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I mean, we need to add on players that are, that I think. I mean, I don't like to get in the positions different. Say a striker or midfield or whatever. I feel like we just need a longer squad and better, quality players. I guess you can say, and that's kind of derogatory to the team now. I guess you can say, but uh, I think people know what I mean. These
Yes.
players that are that are that are competing, expected to go to big teams. You know what I'm saying? Like um, Chelsea does a mid-table team. There will be players that go because it's Chelsea. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Regardless of where they're at in the
Yeah.
table.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. So yeah, um, big up Farmer, man. He's been a regular now since yesterday, so he's got the best beard in the world. So I envy him. But he says, "Few, we better hope the injuries sticks stop beating our ass."
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was thinking about Villa because they've done fantastically well. But if we had their injury record, which is very low to say, if we had Botman fit, if we had Harvey Barnes fit, if we had Joe Linton fit more often, if we didn't have Tonali and his escapades, five T players that can at least they'll definitely make up. I think would be where Aston Villa are, but
yeah.
it's ifs and buts, isn't
And
it?
they didn't have European football, which is a big deal. And they don't have Carabao Cup. I don't. Yeah,
No,
they got
they
eliminated.
have conference. They play in the conference.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
but it's
yeah,
conference.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
not
There's no
Champions League. It's not PSG and Milan, is it?
100%, 100%. So big up Farmer, man. Your man says I'm not even shocked when someone goes down these days. Pretty much expecting an injury a game,
It's a
which is
shame. It's a shame.
crazy.
Yeah,
Which
yeah, yeah, it's
which
a
is,
shame.
which is crazy. Anthony
Yeah,
Gordon comes out in the last one. Like, what is going on, bro? Like, you know what I mean? I just don't get it. I don't think I've ever seen this ever in football, where a team loses a player every match.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, how can you explain that?
Well, I
There's
wasn't
no
a
such you
yeah
can't say. And I mean, I'm sorry to cut you off
yeah
before you
go
go,
it's all right it's all right it's all
but
right.
like, bro, every all teams like we're not the only team that plays, um, midweek and weekend. You know what I mean? So what the hell is happening, man?
I don't think it's necessarily the amount of games. Someone came up with a decent theory that I still think it's one of the best I've heard. Is that it's more to do with it with the intensity.
Yeah,
So we're one of the most intense teams in terms of our press and how we press and what we do.
yeah,
And so what he was saying was that the more intense a team plays up and down, is the more likely they're going to get injuries. Because I had a Man City fan there at the time, and he was saying that obviously Man City had a lot more injuries this season, but he was saying they got a lot less control. Whereas
mm,
last season, when Man City were able to control, Man City can keep the ball for 4 or 5 minutes and run the other team ragged whilst they're taking a breather. So they had a lot less injuries when they had the
yeah.
control of the ball. We were talking about earlier in terms of, hey, Specs, how you doing, sir? Good to see you.
Big
Good to
up, big
see
Big
up,
up,
you.
Jordy.
brother.
Good to
Jordy
Big
see
Dread
up,
you.
big
TV.
up.
I want to say this, man. My apologies. We woke him up. He was asleep. He was smashed, and we disrespected him. Woke him up, from his nice.
He even sleeps in his Newcastle kit. He's dedicated, man.
Look, man, we got to stick together, man. I thought I'd jump on, man. We got to stick together, man. It's been a long day. I've been on many streams, bro. I'm just, yeah, you know how it goes. Big up to
Yeah.
you, though, man. Big up to you,
You too,
brother.
sir. You too, sir.
Eh,
We were just talking about why we've got such a large amount of injuries, and I was just saying that I heard a really good theory was that it wasn't necessarily the amount of games, but in the intensity in our play. When the teams that play the most, how we press, how we push, what we do is great, but it has a lot of strain on the muscles and everything else.
mm,
So the way to combat that is, because there was a Man City fan there at the time, was who basically said, yes, we play intense, we get the ball. If we lose the ball, we get it back, we press high, but we have very, very, very good control. And obviously last year, when you got a Gundogan in your team, you got Bernardo Silva, you got all of that, you're gonna have control in your team. We've only got Bruno. We were talking about earlier, for instance, whether it's the PSG game, the Chelsea game, we're tired, we're knackered, we're booting the ball away. We've only got one Bruno. We don't have a Bernardo Silva. We don't have a Rodri. We don't have those guys that could just hold the guy off for the
mm,
fun of it, pass it to who, take a look around and pass it off. We don't have that. so,
yeah.
so we're having to run a lot more. It's costing us in terms of injury. So I thought that was a decent theory that I'm thinking about. That I think makes sense.
Yeah, so that theory I've already thought about anyway.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
That's why you're the
But
professor.
no, but mine's just a bit. No, I already thought of that because of intensity.
Yes, sir.
That's what we keep doing. Because if you
Yeah,
think about it technically on a technical basis, that's what has got us where we are. Is that coaching, the belief, and that
yes,
intensity. That's what overrides the actual talent compared to other teams in and
true,
around us at the
true,
time.
true.
But for me, when we play like that, alluding to the Man Cities, etc., it's about as well do you have like for like quality to replace that, to mix and match that. You get what I'm saying? And the
Yeah,
experience of that, and the experience of that. So we're ahead of schedule. This is kind of all new as a
yeah,
collective with intensity, and then bang into this season. It's like non-stop games, non-stop. Yeah, brought in a few players. It's new to them as well. Even though that theory is good as well, I think there's a tad something not necessarily right because there's way too much injury for my liking.
Yeah.
Way too many, bruv. Like two come back, you get happy. Two come out. When it
it's
comes back,
crazy. It's
when it
crazy.
comes back,
We,
instant
we,
impact.
we're
When it comes
trading.
back.
We're trading players, man. This is like the WWE. We're getting tagged. Like Joe Linton gets hurt, then Longstaff comes back. Shark gets injury, then Botman comes back. You know what I mean? We can never we're breaking even here. You know?
Bro, it's just one of those things we just have to just like kind of accept and see how it goes. The positiveness is that in terms of what's been going on, like, at least we're still sixth, seventh.
Yeah.
Like in terms of what's going on, you would have thought some people think we're gonna every
But
time people think we're gonna
let
plummet
me
down.
let me get your point. Let me get your point, Jordy, on by the way, Would-Be Farmer says, "What up, Jordy Dread?" And
Oh
he
my
has been
guy,
watching
that
before.
is my guy.
Yeah,
Big
yeah,
up
yeah.
farmer.
Um, What are your thoughts on this match, man? We didn't get your thoughts. You know what I'm saying? What are your thoughts, man, on this Chelsea match?
If you had called me literally after the match, you would have seen the real anger. I was on never a foul straight afterwards. Didn't have time to marinate, bro. It's like a torment. It's like fucking with my mental, bro. You get what I'm saying? Because it's like, if man's gonna lose a game, cool. But when it's like that, it's like you're playing with my emotions, bro. Like Smokey from Friday. Like, not Smokey, what's his name? Big Worm. It's like, bro, I didn't watch along. And something inside me said, nah, something's gonna go wrong. From the moment Emil Kraft, who thought had a good game, he's been good since he's come back. What should I say? Ever since Eddie Howe's been there, Emil Kraft has been good.
Everybody.
Yeah. He's been, literally. So when he came off, I remember thinking, before they showed the picture to Kieran Trippier, and before I carry on my comment, what I'm going to say, I've not once ever attacked Kieran Trippier. It's not him that I've got an issue with. Okay. And I'll get into that. So I saw the picture of Kieran Trippier stripping off. I said, no, Eddie. From the Everton game, I said, leave him out for about 3 to 4 or 5 games. Since the England camp, when he said he has to go home for personal reasons, it's gone really bad. It's been a bit bad before, but it's gone bad for him. So my thing, management and the coaching team comes into play. Yes, he's experienced. Yes, he's a big man, so he will probably say, no, I'm good. But it takes for you to say, no, bro, whether you think you're good or not, I'm not feeling that. That Everton thing was mad. Then you got cooked for 2 goals for the Spurs game.
I saw the clips from the watch along for that.
Bro, but I'm a meme, bro. I'm a meme. And you know what? I'm not that guy, you know. I don't do this for laughters or like. I love Newcastle, bro. It's not like a thing like, I'm doing this for content. People are clipping me. You get what I'm saying? Like the Everton one was, man, that was it. I was acting mad. I couldn't help it. But that was wild. Because from the first moment, Kieran Trippier made a mistake. I said, Eddie, take him off. He kept him on. He did it again. Spurs, why is he playing? Got cooked twice. Then this one is now where no bars hold. I'm questioning Eddie. I'm like, why are you bringing him on? I don't care. This narrative that some Newcastle fans have of like, they keep doing this get out of jail card. Not everyone, because it's balanced now. Some fans are not having it. Some are still like, and it doesn't mean we're not loyal or we don't understand Trippier's signings or whatever. But you're allowed to praise when you praise, and you're allowed to question it. Even Trippier you can criticize. There is human, but you made too many mistakes, so you can criticize in a polite way, like, damn, Trips, what's going on? Get it together. But I questioned the management. Why are you still playing him? Bro, we were literally 2.5 minutes away from a semi-final.
Yeah.
I don't even know who Chelsea's got in the next. Who Chelsea got in the semi-final?
I bet it's Port Vale, or not Port Middlesbrough. I bet any money it's Middlesbrough.
Is it Middlesbrough?
Is it Middlesbrough?
Fulham. I think it's Fulham.
There's a derby for them, whatever, bro. Whoever it is, I just felt. I felt over 2 legs. Over 2 legs, I felt. If you don't get Liverpool, I thought we could get to the final. I honestly felt that. And I honestly believe that was our destiny. But Kieran Trippier, he's caught in 2 minds. I don't know what's going on. The game's fucked. And then what pissed me off the most, where I questioned management strength again, you can see Kieran Trippier's head was gone after that mistake. For various reasons. He knows he's fucked up again. Cool. Yeah. Yes, Kieran Trippier is our leader on and off the pitch, so he's obviously going to come forward to take a penalty. If I'm the coach, I'm like, bruv, just go over there, you're good. No. What happens? You put him more in the firing line, he misses before the second miss, he misses, it's a wrap. I'm pissed off, bro. Honestly, I'm heartbroken, I'm pissed off out of 2 big cups in the space of how, like, it could be avoided. That's my point. Yeah, Eddie had a game plan. It was hard to watch, but it was working. Everyone's in cohesion. He defended. I don't know why. Maybe because our way form is shit. And it worked until that moment. And then we're fucked. You can carry on now. I'm pissed.
Yeah. Man, now this dude's not going to be able to go back to sleep after this one. He's alive right now. But yeah, actually, I was wrong. Chelsea played Middlesbrough and Fulham played Liverpool.
Chelsea got Middlesbrough.
So we wouldn't.
So we could have had 2 cup one derby, one half a derby. You could have had that. And I knew I had a feeling, even with the FA Cup draw, I had a feeling we were going to get Sunderland. It's written in the stars. Then this game, we're 2.5 minutes away. I was like, yes, I've got a feeling we're going to get Middlesbrough. You know what I mean? Carrick's still there. He's a born and bred Geordie, Carrick and all that. Bro, I'm not born and bred, but he played, I think, played for Newcastle.
No, he's born and bred. Carrick's
born and bred. Newcastle Academy or whatever's going on. So it was written in the stars. And then
I was saying to Chris, and this is where I said that, look, we're growing with Howe. We are growing with Howe. He's doing a great job getting us there. He's obviously going to have to. I believe that he behaves like an elite manager. But to be an elite manager, you have to win stuff. And this is but to win stuff, you have to go through these moments, unfortunately. I was saying to Chris, for instance, that exactly what you said, Specs, when he saw Kieran Trippier pick up that ball to take that penalty, was there a sliver of doubt in his gut where he thought, he's the only man in that Newcastle staff and players, obviously, who's outranks Kieran Trippier and say, no, you can't, you're not going to take it. But me and Chris were saying that if you say that to Kieran, who's obviously the captain, everybody else is watching.
He's not the captain, though. We've got to stop saying that. He's not the captain.
Yeah.
Lascelles is the captain, but I guess he's our leader. Yeah.
Yeah. So, then even, so.
I get you.
Either way, he can't back out. He's
the big man.
Yeah. You can't just say, or even if, imagine he said to him, Kieran, how was it put to him? Kieran, are you taking it? If he says no, everyone that reverberates through the squad like, man's shook.
Then you know, like
all right, it's
but the thing is though, the thing, Specs, is Eddie Howe should have known. I mean, I don't know if they ask or not. I'm just saying that sometimes managers do ask, hey, who's feeling good to shoot? But Eddie Howe should be like, this dude is not, you know what I mean? His head is not there. So
he was trying almost before the penalties.
Yeah, so the players that are going to hit, they're going to go to the shootout.
It looked stressed. Were you confident? Were you confident when he was coming out to take the penalty? Were you thinking?
Bro, I was before when they started getting the group huddle up. I was hoping, no, don't. I knew Kieran. Rightly so, though. Rightly so. I knew he would step up. And I give him credit for that. He's our leader. He's experienced. You go through the trenches.
He has to show heart.
And you know what? And I kind of feel for him as well, because deep down, I don't know him personally or at that moment, but my assumption is deep down, when he's going up to say, I'll take it, deep down, he knows he doesn't feel right to take it. I really believe he didn't feel right, but it's all shit. If I don't take it, how do I look? As a leader, how do I look? Like, shit, am I hiding? I can't hide. I can't leave these boys and then I'm hiding. So I get it. You know what I'm saying? If you're out in the trenches and you're the big man, you're the colonel, you get me? You're not going to shy away. Like, you fucked up. I'm not going to shy away. So it's a tricky one. I get it. But that's where the big man comes into it. People can say, oh, that could... No, bruv. This is where the real toughness and leaderships take place. Like, yo, Kieran, just leave it out, bruv. Like, don't put one of your main guys in the firing line. Yeah. If Kim wants to beef him afterwards, so be it, behind the scenes.
Just say you be the 5th penalty taker or the 6th penalty taker. Chris was saying, why do you have to take it? Why do you have to be like the 2nd or 3rd up? Like, there was no reason.
And even how he took it, he knew it was fucked, because he's like, stop. He's like, stop. He's like, stop. Pause. When he paused, I said, yeah, we're fucked. Go watch when I'm watching him. Go watch it back. You'll see. I was like, yep, we're fucked. I was like, we did that. I was like, yep, it's a wrap. Get me? And I don't want to be that guy to be a meme or but people are waiting, because I've been like, they're waiting for me like to say, yeah, it's mad, bro. I love Kieran Trippier. I got no beef with him, you know. And I haven't even got beef with Eddie. I ain't got beef with Eddie. You crazy? Like, I wanted Eddie before the takeover happened. Even when he got relegated with Bournemouth during COVID. I like Eddie. So it's not about attacking him or attacking Trippier. But my thing is, I will question it. I will question it. We are allowed to question it. If you attack them, I don't like that. That's all dead. But we can question it, and you can be upset and angry.
That is true. One thing I will say though, I don't know this person, and so I don't have no reason to defend them. I'm married, so don't think anything like that. But I will just say something about Kendall Rowan, man. Twitter has been really cruel to her. just yesterday and today because she voiced her opinion. Everybody is
I haven't seen
entitled
that.
to voice your damn opinion. Yeah, she had to
Mhm.
lock the account. You know what I'm saying? Because people are just talking shit. You know, but like, listen, bro, talk your shit. Talk. Give your thoughts. You know what I mean? Bant if you want to, but just because you give a counter opinion to yours doesn't mean that you're a Sunderland fan or that you're a prick or you don't know football or you don't or you must have become a Newcastle fan after the takeover. All the nonsense, and that instead of actually talking, debating, you know what I mean, use your fingers instead of to insult. Get down there and actually say something related to football. That way, you actually sound or they can read you as an intelligent person on the other side instead of just because they've criticized me too for that stuff. You know what I mean? And dude, what am I supposed to do? Jump in one leg, say how happy I am and how blessed I am to play a semifinal or whatever it was, quarterfinals? No, I'm gonna be upset. You know what I mean? You have a reason, and Specs
Yeah,
is we he's a funny guy, so we're out here laughing, but the dude is mad.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Bro, like, well, first of all, with the Kendall thing, I wasn't aware of that, so I will give her a message. I'll text whoever. I didn't know about all that. You get what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, like, she showed me love from the get go when I started this thing. I've just been around recent, as you know, but I get a lot of love in that. So, big up to Kendall. But I like what you said though, because what I don't like is so for example, you get some wild comments
Yeah.
like attacking comments like of the players or whatever, or things you really don't like. I've seen some comments that I'm like, bro, like I'm not, oh, you're crazy. But believe it or not, from my opinion is, as much as I don't like it, I will never call someone that's knowing that narrative that's easy to say, oh, you're not a real fan because
Yeah.
you're saying some wild stuff. And I hate some of the wild stuff, but I'll never call them a fake fan because your opinion is your opinion, whether it's wild or not, it's your opinion. You don't like it, you debate with them. If it's something silly, I wouldn't debate with them. Just leave it. But attacking people personally, ballers or fans, that person, I'm not into that. I'll call it out. So that's why with the whole Trippier thing, you might see me going crazy on the net, but you never hear me say, "Oh, Kieran Trippier, you effing prick, you're a fool, fuck off, go die somewhere," or "Eddie, I'm gonna fuck you up, you're a prick." None of that. Ain't me. I'm grown, but I can get upset. I can have a little moment, and we can question things.
No
You get what I'm
doubt.
saying? And I'll never tell someone you're a fake fan and all this madness, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But big up to Kendall. That I ain't seen what's been going on, but that's
Oh yeah,
yeah.
they were saying that she says all this stuff to be on TV and on us, all this stuff.
Nah, she
And
not.
I mean,
I wouldn't. Nah, I don't. I wouldn't because if she really wanted to, she could do a proper YouTube and be on this thing. She's not been
yeah, she's
doing
not.
that
Yeah.
like that.
She's
So
just on
from
the
that
panel.
alone, it's not. She gives up a lot of time just to jump on with people. She don't have to, bro. And she ain't gonna on
Exactly.
YouTube like that. She don't have to. You know what I'm saying? So that alone is evidence she's not. Nah, she's not. From what I know of, when I speak or come across her, I don't see that. No way.
Yeah.
She knows her stuff. She knows her shit, bro. Trust me.
Yeah.
She's a dude, bro.
You want to finish your point? We got to go, man. But go ahead,
I'm
Toon
done,
Tactics,
bro.
Philip, if you want to.
No, I'm good, bro.
Oh,
Finish my
okay.
point.
No, I thought you wanted to say something. So, but look, do you want to say something, Specs? I thought you raised your hand, bro. What
No,
you
I'm
drinking?
just good.
What you drink? Are you drinking liquor, man?
Nah, not liquor, man. Just
Mouthwash. It's mouthwash.
put it this way. You
Come
got me
on,
up.
man.
You got me up. It's just a little. It's a little wake up call. Just leave it as that.
It's a little something. It's just get a little taste. You know what I'm saying? Just to get a little taste. But all
Little
right,
something.
man.
It's late here, bro. You know what time it is? It's not. Anyway, it's not.
Yeah, no
Late,
doubt.
man.
Listen, we're gonna call it off. I appreciate Space waking up, coming on the
Yes,
show. He's making us laugh. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate Philip, Toon Tactics TV, Jordy Dread TV, of course. Subscribe to him. I will tag them on
And
on.
don't leave when you look off this. Don't leave yet. I want to chat quickly. But yeah.
Yeah, no doubt,
All
no
right.
doubt. I appreciate everybody coming on. Everybody that's been chatting. Terry Crook, we're going to finish with this one. Dubravka also hesitated to go for the ball after Trippier's mistake. I think Pope would have been getting that ball if he wasn't injured. I don't know. I mean,
Bit of both, yeah.
I think that Trippier was in the middle as well, so yeah, that could have given that energy to Dubravka to be like, "What am I doing?" You know what I mean? But Philip, you want to say something?
No, I think it was. I don't know. That situation is so uncertain. I think it's a bit harsh on Dubravka in that situation.
Yeah.
I think he's fully expecting for Kieran to handle it. You never know what could have been said. Maybe he's anyway. We could
it's a good point, Terry Cook makes. Big up to Big up to Terry Cook. Good point, as Farmer says. But initially, he lays with Trippier. Once the ball comes, he's caught in two minds. If he ain't caught in two minds, his head is out for a goal kick.
Yeah,
and done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Big up everybody. Smash the like button and go to subscribe to these two guys. They're incredible Newcastle gentlemen right here. And smash the like button, subscribe. We'll be live again probably tomorrow. We got to was it tomorrow, Thursday? Yeah, we got to do the preview of Newcastle Luton Town this weekend. So if we lose against Luton, it's gonna be hell on this channel.
Bro, you can't underestimate them.
You can't underestimate it, man. You can't underestimate it.
You know what? But whoever's watching, Geordie Dread TV, go big up the American Magpie, go add, sub, like, big up my man. What's his name? Phil?
Yes, sir.
All right, big up to you, but Geordie Dread TV, man. Come on, let's do this. Big up.
Yeah, everybody, we'll see you in the next one. All right.